Welcome to our ongoing series of miraculous medal adventures. You know, over the years, I've learned how to give this medal to Catholics, fallen away Catholics, to Protestants, even to Jews and to Muslims. And I've even given this to agnostics and atheists. But the ones I'm most proud of is when I give one to a politician. So the year was 1997. And I was a newly ordained priest, and I'd been assigned to the parish of the Immaculate Conception in Skidmore, Texas. Maybe it was the month of May, April or May. And even though I'm a religious order priest, I was the administrator of this parish, so I had a month's vacation coming to me. So I called up our founder, Father Flanagan, and I said, "Father, I get a month's vacation. I'd like to have your permission to go to Russia because I'd like to found a summer theological institute in Vladivostok, Russia." And Father said, "What do you want to do? You want to go to Russia?" He says, "Okay, Father Jim, you go ahead and do that." Well, one day I was having lunch at the Immaculate Conception Rectory, and a letter came, and it had a funny return address on it. And the nun there, Sister Mary Joseph, she had Polish background. She said, "Father, that return address is written in Russian." I said, "Really?" So I opened it. Well, it was a letter from a Father Myron, who was an American priest living in Vladivostok, Russia, which is in the Russian Far East on the Pacific Ocean. And he had written a letter to every pastor in America who was in charge of a church named Immaculate Conception. And he was saying how they really need a lot of help there. He had just been there a few years, and they had all these bills, and he was trying to bring Russian Catholics back into the church because they'd been under communism for 70 years. And so I found the letter very interesting, and so I sent him a little email. I said, "Dear Father Myron, I'm Father James Kelleher. I'm in charge of this little parish of Immaculate Conception in Skidmore, Texas. In July, I'm going to be coming to Russia. I'm going to be going to St. Petersburg to found a little theological institute. I read your letter, and I like it a lot. I wish you well, and I'll pray for you." And that was it. I sent the email out. Well, I woke up the next morning, and there's a letter from email from Father Myron. What did it say? It said, "Dear Father James, St. Petersburg, they have all the priests. They have all the money. We have nothing." And then in triple-sized letters, it said, "Come to Vladivostok." Wow, that was a pretty direct, that was not an invitation, that was a command. So I'd found out by then that in order to get into Russia, you couldn't just go buy a tourist visa and go in and start evangelizing. You had to have a person who was a member of a Catholic church in Russia that wanted to invite you to come to Russia. And so I got on the email and I said, "Dear Father Myron, I understand I need an invitation from a Catholic church to come to Russia. If you give me the invitation, I'm coming to Vladivostok." He immediately answered back. And so in July, there I was in Vladivostok. But I want to mention one thing that Our Lady, how she helped me prepare for that trip. You see, I knew I had to pack and everything, but I knew I wanted to take a lot of miraculous medals with me. And as a matter of fact, I wanted to take thousands of miraculous medals with me, but I didn't know where to get thousands of miraculous medals on short notice. Well, over here enters a man named Bob who lived in San Antonio. He said, "Father, I can take care of that." I said, "You can? How do you have 12,000 miraculous medals?" He says, "Well, I'm in the Legion of Mary. I give tens of thousands of miraculous medals away every year. I give away so many miraculous medals that I went down to Mexico and I found a person that could manufacture miraculous medals for me. They produce 1 million miraculous medals for me a year, and I'm going to give you 12,000. I said, "Really?" And he made good on his word. So there I was traveling to Vladivostok, Russia with 12,000 miraculous medals in my suitcase. And I was with Sister Mary Catherine of the Society of Our Lady, and she says, "Father, how are you going to get all those miraculous medals into Russia? When you go through customs, they're going to take them away from you." And I said, "No, they're not, Sister." She says, "How do you know?" I said, "Well, because the Virgin Mary is going to make all those custom agents blind, and those miraculous medals are just going to sail through customs." So we get into Vladivostok I don't know if we got in at 5 or 6 in the morning, and all their agents are there looking at everything, and my medals are right there in the bag, and whoop, the bag just goes through, and the medals are still in the bag. So Father Myron was there. He picks us up. He takes us to the Church of Holy Mother of God that he had gotten back from the communists. The communists had taken this beautiful church with high spires and everything. They turned it into a book depository and put 3 floors, cement floors in it. Well, by the time I got there, Father Myron had removed 2 of the cement floors, and he left 1 cement floor in because he didn't have any more money to remove the 3rd, but it also created an extra basement in the bottom where he could have a conference room, a kitchen, a library, and he could have an office there. Father Myron says, well, it's really great that you've all come here because, in 5 days we're going to go 8 hours north on a train, and we're going to give a 1-week retreat to 25 to 30 young people from all over Eastern Siberia and the Russian Far East. So we were part of Father Myron's team, and Sister gave presentations, I gave presentations, and a layman named George gave presentations. And in my presentation, I talked about the miraculous medal, and I gave every one of them a miraculous medal, and I explained how they could give this medal to other people, so I gave each one of them their 5 medals. Well, when we went out on a little jaunt to the nearby river, we were on the bus, and this 25-year-old young lady named Vlada that was part of our group, she had earlier in the day given a testimony where she said, yes, 5 years ago I was a student at Moscow State University in Moscow, and I was the leader of the Communist Party for the young people. But in 2 weeks I'm going to be baptized to Catholic. So we were on the bus with Vlada and the other young people. And what was Vlada doing? She'd taken the 5 medals that I'd given her. She'd gotten pieces of string. She made little necklace chains out of them. And there she was on the bus putting miraculous medals over 10 and 12-year-old boys. And I said, that's Our Lady's evangelization team. Russia is going to become Catholic if we get enough Vladas on the team. Well, we had a beautiful retreat, and there's a lot of joy being able to share the faith with these young people. So Father Myron had a big banquet on the last night. And then I remembered, I'd only been in Russia 2.5 weeks, but I'd come with 12,000 miraculous medals, but I still had 8,000 left. I'm not going to go back with 8,000 medals. I'll give every one of these Russian young people anywhere from 200 to 300 miraculous medals each, and I'll train them to be distributors on Our Lady's team. So when he called on me at the banquet, I did exactly that. I had my team go and give each one of those Russian young people 200 to 300 miraculous medals, and then I gave him a training session on how to give this medal to anybody. And I said to him, and so your homework is, I'm going to be coming back here next year for your annual retreat, and I want you to come back with 0 miraculous medals in your pocket, because your job is to evangelize the people from wherever you came. Ave Maria.